Here begins the account of that knight known to his fellows as Johann, who came among our order in the summer of the last year. Johann was much wearied from his travels, but made it known to us that he made his way from Langwedoc, having spent a long time previous to this within the Holy Land. His crest and bearing marked him as one of the order of poor knights of the Temple of Solomon, with whom we share kinship. Johann handed over his sword and raiments upon entering our retreat, asking that he be allowed to take holy orders. He would say very little, save that he had lived long enough by the sword and felt that he had dishonoured our Lord, whom he had set out to serve. Taking little sustenance, Johann retired to the smallest church and began there to pray for his forgiveness. He asked that in due course he be given confession. It was on the 5th day of his penance that he was visited by Hugo de Padvenan, lord of the surrounding lands and a member of the order to which Johann had owed allegiance. Hugo stayed with his brother knight for 2 days and would not leave his side. On the 3rd day, Hugo came to the abbot and said that having spoken with Johann, he now had to travel to France. He asked that we take Johann into our order once he had made his peace. Hugo made small donation to the order and attended morning prayer before taking his leave. For weeks, Johann prayed silently in preparation for his orders. During his 4th week of shelter, Johann left the monastery to make short pilgrimage to the seat of St. Philin. Upon his return, he asked to be permitted to read the parables relating to Philin. In the 5th week, he visited the cell founded by the missionaries of Columba and also Rykens Hugrove. Hereafter, Johann asked after all the missionaries and was particularly taken with the tale of St. Blaine carrying his box of soil from the Holy Land. Yet of all the sacred places, none gave Johann more joy than our well to St. Peter, which he would walk to each day. He was often to be found there in contemplation of the Lord and his works. It was on the 1st day of his 3rd month of sanctuary that he came to my cell. He was in a fit of passion and begged me to listen to all he had to say, for he was near consumed by silence and sin. He told me then of his last journey, and I have here set it down as it was told to me. I served our order a long time in the Holy Land, battling hard and true against the infidel in his occupation of the sites most holy to us. I have heard stories of the many sacred treasures the poor knights and crusaders are said to have liberated from the infidel. I have seen little of such treasures, and so much more of blood and death. Yet, this is the will of the order, our pontiff and the Lord himself. One day, we rode to a village. A brother knight who had passed through there some weeks hence had heard of a great holy treasure. It was said that upon a certain date the relic was taken from the church through the town in procession. We arrived on the appointed day. A great procession came from the little church, and at the head were 3 women carrying a plinth. One woman stood at each side of this plinth and one at the back. Draped over this was a cloth upon which was a crucifixion scene. Upon it sat a wooden box with a golden seal. Behind the 3 women, all those in the procession carried banners. Upon the largest banner there was a sphere across which hung a chain draped down at either side. At the end of the sphere there were, in standing posture, 2 images of children, and each of these held a link of the chain. The child on the right-hand side had 3 faces. The child upon the left was blindfolded. We were given order to charge. Here we seized the box from the women who were carrying it. My brother knights beheaded the 3 and began to run to those who were standing nearby. Those in the procession who ran were cut down by the surrounding horsemen. I took my leave as the fires were set, people reduced to ashes and blood in the dust. So precious was our treasure. I travelled then to France, where I spent a little time before making my way here. Once he had told me his tale, Johann had asked to make confession. Having made his peace and told all that I cannot here record, Johann asked that I make it be known to my brothers and his brothers within the order that come the day of his death he wished to be buried within our grounds. Johann made donation to the monastery and left without taking his orders. A place is to be prepared for him within the smallest church. He left a man unburdened, yet I am the heavier hearted for his departure.